But that's not the only live camera we've got. We have a live camera as well in a hollow log where we've been trying to attract small mammals, especially wood mice. And here's one coming in, typical wood mouse. Large ears, excellent hearing, large eyes there. You see that we've put some sunflower seeds in there. Common, very widespread. Reckoned to be almost 40 million of them in the country. That's 1 for every 2 human. Fantastic little animals. I do like them. Overlooked as well, aren't they? Much overlooked, and people tend to look at them saying fairly unintelligent little animals. But there's more to wood mice than meets the eye. Now have a look at this. Watch carefully. Wood mouse comes in carrying an oak leaf. It places it not willy-nilly, but it's very careful as to exactly where it puts that leaf. Puts it there, and then off it goes again. Now, when I saw that, I thought, it's got to be building a nest. It's starting to build a nest. Not according to the scientists at Oxford University.
In 2003, Pavel Stopka and David Macdonald published a paper because they'd noted and then studied that wood mice were removing not just leaves, but notable objects in their environment and placing them deliberately. They recorded some of this in some trials that they did, and here you can see some of their footage. And what they saw was that the mice were using these as visual reference points to help them orientate. In fact, what they said was they were portable signposts enabling the mouse to orientate its movements around places of ephemeral interest. So let's just break that down. What they're doing is every time they move from one place to another, to forage or do whatever they're doing, sometimes they will take one of these way markers. That's what they called them. You've got to consider them as little flags, if you like. And they put them on the ground so that when they are sniffing and looking for food around there, they can refer to that to see where they are. And very frequently they're scared by predators, they have to scarper. But if they want to come back and carry on looking for food in the same place, they've got a marker for it. And I can tell you that only one other species on the planet so far has been identified to use way markers like this. Which species do you think that might be? It's us. It's us. Because here's a clear parallel. Most of the time that the mice were doing this, they were doing it in homogeneous environments. So that's like a sort of a monotone, if you like, a monoculture. Imagine losing your car keys in the middle of a huge grassy field, and then you have to go out and look for them. So if you just wandered around the grassy field, you wouldn't know where you'd already searched. So what would you do? You would take a way marker, a flag with you that you could put on the ground, and then you could search around it, knowing, therefore, your points of reference to see where you'd already searched. And that is what we think that the wood mice are doing. Question is, why are they using their eyes and not their scent? Because we know that they're governed by scent, they've a very keen sense of smell. Well, it wouldn't be very good to be leaving scent somewhere where you're immediately operating. Weasels, stoats, all sorts of other predators could find that scent, and whilst you're busily snuffling for nuts, they could snuffle for you. So we think that they use their scent for more established trails, but for these ephemeral, short-term spots, they are using these way markers. And of course, the other thing is, as you mentioned already, Iolo, they've got massive eyes. Look, here are, let's look at the eyes of the UK's rodents and shrews. Top left there, the wood mouse, massive eyes. House mouse to the right, slightly smaller. Bank vole, diminishing all the time. And then finally, common shrew. And look at the size of its nose. It's got small eyes because it's got a massive nose and a keen sense of smell. So they've got huge eyes. In fact, we can demonstrate what we would look like if we had eyes the same size as a wood mouse.
If only we had an idiot to demonstrate that. We do.
Oh.
Hold on, let me just show you. Here we go. There we are. How do I look? How do I look? Mr. Magoo?
Like you might find your car keys in the middle of that field if you with eyes that size. We've got a wood mouse live. We can go back to it now, and here it is. Has it brought a way marker with it? Well, who knows? It could be just outside of our log. But what a remarkable thing. Tiny mice using identifiable objects in their homogeneous environment so that they know where they are foraging. Fantastic,
I'll never look at wood mice in the same way again.
No,
Fabulous.
absolutely superb, absolutely superb.